Love to have you here joining me for another insightful journey. And today we're going to embark on a special exploration together, delving into the depths of finding inner balance in a chaotic world. You know, I love going on walks, exploring new sights and just letting my thoughts wander. And what could be better than taking a walk together? So gather around as I have a channel message that I want to share with each and every one of you, and I know you won't want to miss it. And this message has been the inspiration for today's wandering, finding inner balance. In the midst of busy schedules, endless distractions, mounting responsibilities, and looking at world events, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and disconnected from ourselves. And therefore it's time we explore how to nurture our inner balance and reclaim a sense of harmony in our lives. We will talk about self-care, setting healthy boundaries, mind-body techniques, and the power of mindfulness. We discover that finding inner balance is not about achieving perfection, but rather embracing our unique selves and embracing the journey. When I wake up in the morning, but I immediately give myself over to the media. When I rush through my morning routines, but time feels slow and somehow the weight of the world is heavy on me. When my mind is creating this endless to-do list, but I don't feel like I'm gaining any clarity, then I know I'm not in balance. When life feels like a whirlwind, constantly pulling me in different directions, and I can't seem to find stillness in a storm, yes, then I know I'm not in balance. Does it sound familiar to you? I do believe it does to many. Living in a very demanding, sometimes overwhelming, fast-paced society and world, inner balance seems often far out of reach. But actually, it isn't, because, as with everything, it's about making a conscious choice and, in this case, prioritizing our well-being. I think the very first step on this journey on finding inner balance, and I know this is something we need to remind ourselves again and again, is us not being the same. You and I are not the same, and therefore nothing is a one-size-fits. Knowing and accepting this makes it easier for us to let go of the expectations we hold towards ourselves, hold towards other people and situations, and it allows us to embark on this journey with a little less weight to carry. To me, trying to find balance feels like a very delicate dance between energies that are quieter, introspective, and hold these nurturing aspects on one side and these active, outward and assertive qualities on the other side. When we are out of balance over a longer period, everything suffers. We may experience physical symptoms like exhaustion, headaches, or tension. Our mind may be cluttered with racing thoughts, worries, and self-doubt, and emotionally, we may rock between the feelings of being overwhelmed, irritated, and somehow empty. Being out of balance takes a toll on our relationships, on our ability to pursue our passions, on our ability to fully engage with life. It takes a toll on our overall well-being. But when we do honor both energies, when we find this sweet spot, we feel overall empowered. This is when we are standing firmly with both feet in this world. Our thoughts are clear, we trust in who we are and hold a vision for what shall come. No matter how off balance we are internally, no matter how chaotic our external circumstances may be, balance is attainable to all of us. So let's explore how to find or reclaim and nurture our inner balance. Self-care is certainly one of the key foundations of nurturing inner balance. I often feel wellness and self-care being treated as buzzwords, immediately having these perfect images in our heads. Sometimes we feel energized and hyped by them. Sometimes they give us this feeling of selfishness, of not being worthy or entitled, not having the means or knowledge. But we're simply replacing the words self-care and wellness with taking care of ourselves and feeling good. It removes limitations and makes it so much more accessible to all of us. It is time for us to remember that when the world demands our attention and energy, we need to detach ourselves from the ideas and opinions of others and treat self-care as a necessity. The necessity of taking intentional time for ourselves, engaging in something that nourishes our mind, body and soul. For example, some kind of movement that gives us energy, a creative outlet that brings you joy, morning rituals to embody your intention, nighttime rituals to wind down. Whatever it is happening your way, at your pace, in your space, because self-care is you listening to your needs, is you taking control over your well-being in whatever form. Setting healthy boundaries is another crucial aspect of nurturing inner balance. Recognizing and honoring our boundaries, both with ourselves and with others, gives us the sense of freedom, of choice and autonomy. Saying no when our plate is full and when a situation doesn't feel right. Communicating our needs, but also our desires. Creating a space that solely is ours. Healthy boundaries allow us to prioritize our well-being, protect our energy from being depleted by external demands, and create a space for self-care, personal growth, and meaningful connections. Of course, we need to name mind-body practices such as meditation or breathwork when it comes to powerful tools for nurturing your inner balance. And while we immediately think of them as tools to quiet our mind, release tension, and restoring the feeling of harmony, they help us to create sacred spaces for our inner exploration and self-discovery. They help us opening up to a new level of confidence, trust, and knowing. We all heard it 1,000 times, mindfulness, and we still don't seem to get it right because we often make it far too complicated. Rather than getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future, we bring our attention to the present moment. You didn't get the promotion you longed for? Don't call yourself a disappointment. Don't dwell on the times where you were always praised and your workplace felt less competitive. Don't worry that you cannot perform with what is required in the future and will face an existential crisis soon. Be present without judging yourself. Take all your thoughts and feelings in, but again, don't judge yourself. Be calm. Meet yourself with compassion. Acknowledge and accept what you feel and think in this very moment. We have a choice to stay tied to what was, pull ourselves down with what may come, or make a choice to simply be present. This is what mindfulness is: reconnecting with ourselves, acknowledging who you are, being present, being where your feet are standing, breathing deeply, feeling calm, and being anchored. I remember times when I felt completely overwhelmed by the demands of my life, where I lived in my head only, trying to desperately stay in control by analyzing, planning, following up, fully disconnecting from my body and my intuition. I remember not defining my boundaries as a young entrepreneur. In fact, mistaking loyalty was giving part of myself up. Finding myself vulnerable at times, even triggered, or reliving traumas, where I was spiraling down self-doubt and found myself in a seemingly endless procrastination because I couldn't stop dwelling on what was and worry what will be. All these certainly took a toll on my mental and physical health, and looking back, it took many experiences and events for me to make a conscious decision on prioritizing my well-being and nurturing my inner balance. Once I did, everything started to shift. I think we need to re-internalize that taking care of ourselves does not require us to earn it or have others validate it. We need to make the questions on happiness, peace and satisfaction, everyday questions again, a matter of course. But I think we shall ask them differently. We don't ask, how do I find happiness? We ask, what will make me smile now? We don't ask, how do I find peace? But we ask, how can I create a quiet moment for myself now? We don't ask, how can I feel satisfied? But we ask, what can I do in this moment that will make me feel good? You are beautifully unique the way you are, and we can't always compare ourselves to others and should not. Finding inner balance is not about achieving perfection. Do not even aim for it, because you always evolve, same as the world around you. Finding inner balance is a continuous practice, and some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. When I sat down to channel, I asked what is important for you and me to be reminded of today. And sometimes the messages are very long and sometimes rather brief. So here it is. Allow yourself to be with all that you are. Allow yourself to be with all that you are. Allow yourself to be in a world that will present you with challenges and opportunities, with losses and gifts. Step away from who you want to be and step into who you are. You can only find happiness and satisfaction in being yourself, here, now, and not being a person in a world and at a time that has not happened yet. Allow yourself to carve out the space you need to truly be here with all that you have and all that you are. Thank you for joining me on my walk and the wandering thoughts on finding and nurturing inner balance in a chaotic world. Remember, this is a very, very individual journey, and you are stronger than you believe at times. Be patient. Take small steps each day. Listen to your intuition. Be compassionate and gentle with yourself. Embrace the imperfections and trust in the process. I would love to read your experiences and insights on finding inner balance. Just drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It makes all the difference for creators here. See you in the next video. Lots of love and take care of yourself.